Oh man. So it's the outcome a lot of us feared, none of us wanted. But at the same point, um, we now get to kind of go back, get a week to kind of look at film, I guess, or whatever you can take from that game. But we can also start asking the question of maybe how do we not play those games? I don't know. I'm just asking. Could just be bias, could be me. But y'all always know it's gonna be fangs up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started. Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does! And that might be the knockout punch.
All right, greetings and salutations. Hopefully all is going well with you. Um, Emil's family versus Miami. I mean, if you know your favorite Fangs Up host, kept it a buck with you. I never lied to y'all. Didn't tell y'all I thought we win this game. So when it started kind of going south, wasn't completely surprised. Wasn't happy, but I wasn't surprised. So yeah, no, I value honesty over clicks. I'd much rather have 15 people in here over having 5,000. And then that 5,000, I'm just lying to them. So, um, but it was a good showing for some, not as good for others. But one team that did hold it down, FAMU women's volleyball, held it down, clean sleep for the whole week. Something to look good to, So if you're happy about that, if you are a FAMU fanatic such as myself, you're probably a little more excited than others, maybe. But at the same point, kind of is what it is. Um, Full disclosure, I made it until about third quarter. Then one of my line brothers hit me up with, "Hey, bruh, swing by the house. You ain't the only rattler over here." And I said, "Okay." And I watched that Colorado game, which I told y'all, boy, if you want to make some money this year, that Colorado UCF game, I'm gonna put I'm gonna put a gas bill on on UCF. I ain't even lie to you. Like that team's trash. What's up, little baby? And yes, a sweep for the weekend. And but most importantly, especially if you're a FAMU fan, what's up, Kev? Y'all already know storm's over. All right. It's thunder and lightning down here. But if you are a Rattler fan, you get a week to prepare for Troy. And this is honestly, it's a winnable game. Like a lot of us have kind of tried to not overhype it just because I know how some of us get. Some of us believe we can beat Michigan tomorrow. And it might be a good fight. You look at what they put up against Texas, just saying. But look, happy with our kicker. He did look, that was what, 50, about a 50-yard bomb he kicked. That was nice, man. Yeah, UCF, USF, either could get them. And then if we don't clean up some stuff, it won't be. I ain't gonna lie to you. Colsey said the same thing. I mean, we saw the same film, and we've said this kind of going into the game. I know I pointed out there's one corner that you're not trying. There's a whole another set of corners that is what it is. And you can hear, go back, watch the post game, give shout out and credit to Vaughn Wilson and HBCU game day. They definitely posted the post game. Again, I missed the post game presser because I was hanging out with brothers. But you could start to see where early on, maybe really wasn't as bad as some of us kind of want to make it out to be. Like, did we win? Absolutely not. But was it closer than some of us may have thought it would have been earlier? Yeah. Yeah. Kev says winnable. If we had taken advantage of some opportunities, you're not completely wrong. But considering and how it ended, I think it landed about right. Like, do you want to do better than that? Absolutely. But at the same time, 56-9 ain't the score we want. Like, not at all. Like that to me, I'm not gonna say unacceptable because I love, and I'm telling y'all, um, Willis Simmons may not want to be the AD at FAMU, but he darn sure makes some great points. And one of the points he pointed out that budget, and again, final score 56-9. Um, yeah, but some of the stuff it is related to what you can fund and what you can't fund. I mean, you start looking at first time Miami's had a crowd, and they're probably gonna have some good attendance this season. Miami's probably gonna be a playoff team. Like I know I said it. I heard Coach Colsey say it the other day, and I've kind of after that Florida game and seeing what the rest of the ACC is. Again, it's less of Miami's done these different things. They're gonna make the playoffs. It's these other teams in the conference suck, and Miami's actually pretty decent, and they got a really good quarterback, which I told you that kid was him. Yeah, like, but you saw some good things out of here. Like honestly, Daniel Richardson, to me, for the most part, solid game. I mean, the fumbles kicked in. I told y'all about Quan Lee. I told y'all about that guy. I said, hey, remember the last game, last weekend, same area, same studio. I said, y'all better watch for number 21. Quan Lee, transfer from UCF. He's starting to come on. One of the things with Daniel Richardson, you can start to see, he do have favors. Like he has favorite targets. Those tight ends, they're up there. Quan Lee, another one. And we got our answer. Pruitt got in. So well, no, him not getting no barn this week. Like Pruitt got in. So just kind of looking at it, I think our biggest issue, because the offensive line even looks solid. We saw some wrinkles. I told y'all about the tight ends being used at H-backs. We saw that if you don't get that penalty in the first quarter when it's third and goal, you're probably scoring there. So, you would have got a little closer. Probably would end up with what 13? Yeah, 13, 15, somewhere in that area. So, at the end of the day, is it a game that you expected to win if you're honest? No. Is it a game that you're disappointed in how you lost? Yeah, because it definitely exposed you more. Now, two things you're not going to see throughout the season, though. Just kind of looking back at that game, being a little retrospective, you're not going to see a lot of Cam Wards. You're not. Also, not going to see a lot of defensive lines like that. And you saw where, at times, especially later in the game, we were getting worked. But if you start looking early on, we're actually looking kind of formidable. Like, some of it is attrition. Some of it is just they got better. Like, they got better this, more of that, what have you. But at the same point, kind of watch that first quarter. We do beat ourselves. Now, later in the game, they just better. But at a certain point, the first quarter, a lot of that is self-inflicted wounds. Like you're holding Miami and you're making them go to third down. But I did like some of the adjustments. Like as much as we talking about, Willie he would be a great AD. But as much as I'm talking about, and we've talked about these busted coverages, go back and watch. Like you got that third down pass where Nayron Jenkins mauls Restrepo. Like he literally just throws him to the ground. And you can see where Ward looks over. He's like, I can't throw to him. And then, we end up getting Miami off the field in that play. I think that's right before we had that really crappy kick return. Like, why do you take that ball at all out of the end zone? I think that one that ruins that next drive, because field position wise, you gave a great defense compared to what you have. Not saying that, but again, a really good defense, the advantage of having the field to help them. I just think that's a fair catch. And that's a lesson learned. But you start look at some of the adjustments we're making in secondary and listen to what some of the post-game comments are. One thing I like about Colsey, he's honest. Like that brother's honest. And one of the things he definitely said was We see some holes in coverage. We saw the same coverage bust y'all had. We can't have that. Go back and start looking though, because I asked a question in my one of my friend groups, a couple of my friend groups. I wonder if they're gonna start letting BJ move a little bit. Start noticing BJ roamed a little bit. Like, one side he's on this side of the field, next time he's on the other side. And you start seeing defensive coordinator for everything that we didn't do right. And what's up, Dimitri? And what's up, Aaron? Good to see you as well. Ashford, what's up, Gail. So, but one of the things I started to see, notice we started talking about the personnel. We saw the defensive line try to bow up late in the game. Again, that's an offensive line that has consistently gotten better under the crystal ball regime. 2 players got drafted last year, one of which was a transfer from UCF. But additionally, this year, that is going to be a playoff caliber team. I don't know if they win at all. I'm not going to gaslight you like that. Y'all know me. I'm going to be honest with you. But that's a team where I think later on in the season, especially if FAMU does what we hope they do, this is going to be one of those games where you're going to kind of look back and you're going to get a little more respect than you think. Like, I'm just saying that right there. And see, Aaron says, I'm a fan and a Rattler alum. So it wasn't what I expected and hoped for on both sides. You're not wrong, because if you're a Miami fan, man, they were still chucking the ball kind of late. Like, it wasn't just ground and pound the whole second quarter. And then even the commentators pointed out, and Kelvin Dean was doing some work against the starters. Like, Miami hadn't completely taken out their players, and they hadn't taken out any of the starters. And Kelvin Dean was still getting some nice gains in the third quarter. I tell you, third quarter, I gave up. I knew Junior was going to make it and get in the game. And so I was like, I kind of know what to expect. So I'm cheering for my guy. I want him to grow, but kind of is what it is. So like I said, line brother hit me up, come on through. We start having fun. So nothing crazy, but just hanging out, fellowshipping, the bond. But yeah, like going back to the defense, I was impressed with the linebacker play. Like, are they the best in coverage? Not even close. But some of that to me was scheme. Like, when you're playing teams, especially with a Restrepo, why is Restrepo, knowing the threat he is, line up on a linebacker? And sometimes you can see where, and I pointed out, South Carolina State picked on that zone a little bit. You saw where Miami did the same. Look for teams to continue to scheme that up. That's something that, going back even into when Smitty was the coordinator, the zone defense can be had, especially at FAMU's. And sometimes you're starting to see where some of the different wrinkles that I figured we would have been added. You saw that sack from Deco Wilson last week. That was one of the things. Hey, I expect these corners and safeties to do a little more blitzing, just because I don't foresee you just sitting in a zone shell and expecting your front four to make it happen. So we're seeing a little bit of that. But again, Miami's a playoff caliber team. So it's really easy to sit up here and say the coaches missed this, the coaches missed that. There's going to be a lot of teams that are going to miss this and that. Like, not saying UF's a good team, because they're not. But we've seen where Miami's done this against teams on their level. You're a lower level. You don't have the same facilities. You don't have the same budget. None. It's supposed to happen. Now against Troy, you get a week to get healthy. Question is, depending on how Richardson's feeling, how much you going to roll him out there? It's going to be a good question. But I think the biggest thing is special teams. And I think the special teams is going to be huge. And this is my pop calling. I didn't get to call him earlier. I took the kids to the movies. So hadn't got the call, nobody back. As soon as I got home, it was let's get this and let's get to the show right fast. I'll call Pop back in a minute. Love you, Pop. That's my dude. But when you started looking around, it wasn't. We could have held Miami below 56 if we had done some things a little better. We could have held them probably to 40. I had 42. I think that was realistic. But at the same point, you got out of there relatively unscathed. At the end of the day, take that 700,000. They should be back on with Tallahassee now. Hopefully they're resting and relaxing. So, you know, and little baby says, I'm glad he saw what I've been seeing, what I'm not expecting in a loss. I won't accept in a win. Folks are going to take advantage of what we're lacking. I agree. Um, and look, Aaron says this game also makes me feel super ready for swag play. I agree. Like you start thinking about how FAMU was able to at times play bully ball. That's what the SWAC's not good at. Like we've stated, and you've heard where people like Chennis Berry and other coaches in the MEAC are like, yeah, y'all over here, y'all over there, but y'all still in the MEAC. And in actuality, you're looking to make up a team. We have the speed, like we're from Florida, duh. But on offensive and defensive line, those teams are still built for the MEAC. And so I think that's an advantage you have though when you do play a team like a Miami or a Troy, where you can withstand some of those punches. You can withstand some of those blows. You got to take advantage of them. Like you can't have those third downs conversions. You can't have the penalties. And honestly, if you're Miami, I think that's the worst part of this game. They looked undisciplined. Like I get we're not Miami as far as size and whatever. But some of them penalties uncalled for, and I definitely want to hear Cristobal's post game because I'm sure that's going to be something he mentions. They had several penalties that literally kept us going, kept our drives going. So I'm just saying, look, it was good to see Tate until he got that penalty. Look, I'm telling you, by the end of the season, I'm looking for him on the other side. Like, I'm just saying. Like, I was thinking 45. I see you. I see you. Yeah. I had 42. But like I said, I thought we were going to play a little slower. And, I had 14 because I did think we could score. And we almost got that touchdown, kicking my butt there a little bit, though. And little baby, I was hoping to. Aaron's like, you were right about it, though. Quan Lee, too. I thought Gaston and Ward was our best, but he's stepping up. Look, this is, and y'all notice, somebody caught me last week. I kept calling Gassett Marcus Riley because when I see them, they really remind me of each other. Quan Lee reminds me a little bit of a Kevin Elliott almost. Maybe a little faster, maybe not quite as big. May not be a great comparison there. I'm trying to David Manigo with slightly better hands. Like, because Manigo could catch sometimes, but he ran really nice routes. And when he got the ball, like when he was consistent, Manigo was a solid receiver. I think Quan Lee kind of reminds me of a Manigo with better hands. I think by season's end, Quan Lee is going to be that guy that gets that. He's already started to do it though. He's going to do that dirty work, like get those passes over the middle. You'll start noticing the in routes, the slants. It's Quan Lee and the tight ends. Marcus Riley downfield. So you're starting to see within the scheme, and you can't overly beat this coaching staff up too much. This is game 3 of you calling plays, period. Offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. I don't disagree with y'all about maybe wanting them in the press box, but I think part of the reason, I don't know if you necessarily want them in the press box. That's the easy take. The issue with that, my issue at least, is that our offensive coordinator is also, excuse me, the offensive line coach. So how does he correct the offensive line and show them what they is and ain't doing right from the press box? Same thing with the defensive line coach slash defensive coordinator. How does he correct some of the stuff from the press box? So, it sounds really good, but if you're not noticing some of the intricacies of the financials, like how we try to save money and some of the ways we try to save money, and not just us, but schools in general. Sometimes you have coaches have dual roles. You go across the street, their coach is very hands-on, can be hands-on about the receivers, but they got a receivers coach. He actually went to FAMU DRS, Ron Dugans. It's like same thing with their defensive coordinator. He's also big with the linebackers, but they got a linebacker coach, Randy Shannon. So sometimes I think we have to kind of pause before we say some things and understand that your offensive coordinator is the offensive line coach. I don't know how many offensive line coaches are instructing, correcting the offensive line from the booth. So just saying, look, Kevin Elliott, to this day, one of my favorite FAMU receivers. Like, and every interaction I've had with Kevin Elliott, positive, really good people. Every time I see him, it's nothing but love. But on the field, I loved his passion. He wasn't the fastest. He's like a 4.5 guy, but he could catch. I don't really remember him getting caught from behind. I ain't gonna lie. And look, let me be honest right there. Yes. And little baby says, really got to work on the holding onto the ball. Man, whew, that was probably my biggest negative from the game. Honestly, again, I didn't expect this to be close. But the fumbles, we've got 6 fumbles in 3 games, something like that. It's either 5 or 6 fumbles in our first 3 games. Ball security is an issue, and I think that's part of why Kelvin Dean fell a little further back in the depth chart. He had that fumble first game, and one thing, coaches forget drops. A coach will forget and forgive a receiver dropping a ball. But any person who fumbles, completely different. They don't forget who fumbles. Like you can, and you'll see, look at some of the guys who dropped some of the passes in the first couple games, then come back and see who's fumbled and kind of see, all right, hey, you fumbled last week at tight end. Notice Jeremiah Pruitt got a little more burn this week. Notice Dean fumbled that first game. It kind of, you saw a little more Franklin and Bo, which I think was kind of already in the works, but it wasn't complete happenstance that it happened, a little more. I don't remember seeing a lot of design runs from or for Richardson, especially after that fumble. So, just kind of keep that in mind when we're looking at some of these games and, some of the different things out there. Let's see, Aaron. They got me ready to tell lies for October 5th and 19th. I can't wait to touchdown in Jackson. Look, I'm telling you, I'm excited about that. That's a game that may be, and I told y'all before, that was my SWAT game of the season, not the Alabama State game. Granted, Alabama State they got a W this weekend. They're going to lean on the defense. If FAMU's offense can be prolific, because one of the things we saw in this game was that, and this is a little bit of instant reaction. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I didn't rewatch it. I told y'all I was on daddy duty, kicked the wife out the house. Hey, I'll take my kids, take your friend boy, hey, and your friend son, sorry. And we're gonna just have some time. But yeah, this offensive line, they give me a little hope. And you have a quarterback who's consistently looking to move the ball downfield. And I'll ask this honest question. Daniel Richardson has a really good year. We know we got a quarterback. Think anybody coming to FAMU? I'll just throw that out there. Talk amongst your friends. As EA like to say, that's a little good trouble for you. Little baby says, I was happy with the play calling from Henry. They were moving the ball. I was at points. I didn't like running to the left and the right. I get this is the fastest team you're going to play all season. Your plays are your plays. That team is too fast for that. That's not a team schematically that's going to work against. I think show me more of your coaching chops because Henry's a good coach, my personal opinion. I think show me the chops that say I can adjust my play calling to my personnel. I want to see a little bit more of that. I think we saw it later on, but I think if you kind of look at the film, we made some mistakes there. That's just me. And look, yeah, might be his last year. Just saying. Oh man, look, FAMU got the best tight ends in the SWAC. I said I felt like we did, but yeah, I think FAMU's got. If I'm being honest, and there's a little bias in this, so I'm not gonna don't get too mad at me. I think FAMU has the absolute best quarterback in the SWAC. I think there's a gulf between Daniel Richardson and the next best guy. I think FAMU, he's not there yet, but if Thad Franklin can get it all together, I think he's the best running back in the SWAC. It's just personal opinion. And I think FAMU's got the best tight end room in SWAC. Now, receivers, I'll let you argue with other people about that. I don't know if we got the best receivers in SWAC. I think we got the best potential. Like if our guys are hitting, Marcus Riley deep, Quan Lee intermediate. My man got to show me though. Acion, I need to see it from you. I haven't seen it yet. I know it's there, but I haven't seen it production-wise. But I'm waiting on Acion to flash. When Acion show out, it's gonna be a problem. And look, I'm just saying, look, gotta stay healthy though, till at least the 19th. I agree. I definitely agree. So you think Miles Crowley reached out the best? Okay. Morgan third best? Okay. Crowley bad. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Now, we kind of, I know I'm petty. So as the lady once said in my child's daycare, I keep receipts. Boy, if you rolled with your boy last week, look, I don't know what the spread was, but I made you some money. 5-0. Didn't lose a game. So just saying, do you know if the running back from Old Dominion will be available? I don't know. It's a great question. Look, y'all know I argue with data. I argue with stats. I picked Mercer, North Dakota State, Miami, North Carolina A&T, and Jackson State. 5-0 last week. And look who just jumped in the first place. Look, telling you, if it hadn't been for that Texas Southern PV game, I have a perfect record. So look, brother, I stand on stats. I stand on data. And so, just to let y'all know, brother, we definitely back at it, man. But it's a good time for a bye week. Ain't it a good time for a bye week? Man, I appreciate it, Marvin. And look, I be over there. I be watching stuff. I be paying attention. But it's a great time for a bye week. One, somebody mentioned it. Right here. Right here. Thank you, Kev. You gotta stay healthy. You gotta stay healthy. And it's a chance to get back healthy. And Colsey mentioned some of our best 72 didn't travel, for the game. So you're gonna see that game in Troy. I don't know if the 100's going or not. I heard they might be. I'm just thinking it might be a nice FAMU contingency at that game. Like, I'm just saying. Will Norris be healthy to play? I don't have this on good data. So, this is somewhat speculative, a little informed. I don't believe you'll see Norris this season. If you ask me, unless he just really wants to play, I think his best bet, and honestly, I think your best roster move, have him take a medical red shirt and come back next year. He's been on crutches since, the season started. I believe it's another ACL type situation. I could be wrong there though. That's why I said I know a little bit, but I don't know a lot of it. So that's where y'all know when I don't know a lot of it, or if it's just pure speculation, I'll tell y'all it's reckless, irresponsible, unsupported speculation. In this case, I do know a little bit, but I don't think he comes back this season. Unless it's late in the season, Florida Classic, and he's just trying to finish his college experience. But if you ask me, and if I'm thinking like Colsey, I'm thinking about recruiting for next year. That's a kid that you got no film. I don't know how hard of a sell it is to get him to take a medical red shirt and come back next year. And again, that's just some of the business of the game because I don't know off the top of my head how deep our linebacker room is, but I do want to say it's another year we're going to lose some guys. So, Marvin said the band's not traveling shore. I'm not mad at it. I'm not. It's one of the things with the band, they're not getting a lot to go to that game. 3-hour bus ride there and back, not worth it. Now, in mentioning this, the question has to be asked: should FAMU continue to play these money games? A lot of times going into these games, you get some folks, oh, we're gonna win, we're gonna win. Don't matter who it is, they're gonna tell you FAMU gonna win. I know, Fans the podcast. I don't do that. I don't support that kind of behavior. I'm gonna tell you the truth, even if it offends me. For right now, yes, I'm gonna say continue to play these money games because the way we are currently set up, we are not maximizing our opportunities. One of the things I had one of my homeboys at church, he's like, yeah, man, he didn't go to HBCU, but he's trying to understand. And he's like, yeah, the problem with this is this. And I was like, not really, man. I was like, be honest with you, you think people stealing for these programs, and that's a narrative. They have stolen from our schools. But in today's modern times, we really don't do a great job of maximizing our corporate sponsorships. Sometimes it's because we just don't have the relationship with those companies. Other times it's because we've broken relationships with those companies. I mean, you come down here to Orlando, you go to UCF, Carl Black Chevrolet has been supporting UCF football since forever. I've never been to a Carl Black Chevy. I couldn't tell you where it is, but I know they sponsor UCF. Some of the things we fail to do and some of our problems as HBCUs, we keep asking the same people to give all the money. Like, y'all notice, I told y'all, I'm going to say the Cash App to my birthday. Otherwise, you probably won't see it because I know some of y'all like me. Hey, school just started. We just getting off sea legs, getting stuff taken care of around the house, and I need to pay my dues for the NAA. I need to pay my dues for Rattler Boosters, because I value those things. They're important to me. The Fang Exchange is here supporting our student athletes. I do realize if you dropping Keith a little pizza money and you doing that every weekend, that's something that goes to Keith, but that's not going to the Fang Exchange. You know what makes Fangs Up a better show? A winning program. So, okay, my birthday. Look, if you want to put something to the side for a brother, the Cash App gonna be up there for my birthday. Definitely gonna be. But in the meantime, join these affinity groups. Make the changes you want to happen within them, but also encourage them to start reaching out to more than just your network, but the people that support your network. Like, we have a huge Amazon facility, newly built outside of Tallahassee. Can we work something out with them that benefits athletics? Because we've got a deal with them academically. Larry did that. Larry worked out a deal where academically, those Amazon workers get a benefit and FAMU gets a kickback. Can we get something like that for the athletic program? I'm just saying. I mean, Wawa is coming to Tallahassee, right? Strong. Wawa supports how many of our in-state schools? I know FSU. I know UF. I think Miami. I'm pretty sure UCF and USF. So that means there's already a connection in the state university system between Wawa and those schools. You can't tell me that the only public HBCU, the number one public HBCU in the nation, can't get in there and say, hey, black people eat at Wawa all the time. You can't do something. Like, you can't sponsor us. You can't support us because we're sending some money your way. Homecoming coming. Like, if your Wawas are open, you will be overrun with rattlers. It behooves you to let these people that come to Tallahassee know that Wawa's here and Wawa supports FAMU athletics. Like, Rallies has been down the street from FAMU forever. Like, again, the biggest failure we have supporting wise, especially for FAMU, is we do struggle to make those connections. I know Aldi doesn't do a lot of advertising. They don't. But y'all know when Dixie, I mean, they bought when Dixie. But still, we can get Southern Grocers for something. You got, was it Piggly Wiggly supporting FAMU? That brother, he does a lot. But we gotta, you see public stuff in there in the ads. They've been supporting FAMU forever. Like a McDonald's deal, something. I'm just saying. Because right here, we still need to play money games. You hate to say it. I do prefer not playing the P4 games but at the same point, and I'll give credit where credit is due. If the original idea for the Miami game was to do Miami and then the OVC back to back, you'd have probably made $1 million. And if we're being honest, whoever your new AD is should find out in about a month. It's already broken news. So talk to your friends, talk to the street committee, because I ain't gonna do it. Do I know the answer? I know what the answer's supposed to be. Am I gonna break the news on here? I know I'm break news. Talk to your street committee friends though. They know the answer. But can we go ahead and say, hey, meet at the table and have that conversation? We saw what the attendance was for the OVC. A hot 5,000. FAMU alumni, FAMU side by itself is 25,000. You can't tell me that it's not worth it to at least start the conversation back up, because all of a sudden that goes into you maximizing deals. All of a sudden you start, hey, Denny's is a sponsor over there. We have Denny's in Tallahassee. You know what? Let's start getting Denny's to be a supporter. Like, the biggest failure a lot of our HBCUs have isn't so much of giving. That's an easy target. I live with somebody who don't give diddly to their university. They go over there, they got 2 degrees from there. And I'll be honest, I got 3 degrees. I only get back to one school. I got a degree from Tallahassee Community College, Tallahassee State College now. I don't get TCC nothing. And it's not like a point of pride. It's just, it's not as fluent as FAMU. National Louis University, I got my master's degree from there. I don't get nothing from me. They send me more stuff than FAMU a lot of times. I got my master's there, so I really ain't got no affinity, ain't no sports. But I got my undergrad from FAMU. I grew up at FAMU. I grew up a Rattler. So the affinity is different. The love is different. If not for FAMU, I wouldn't be here. If not for FAMU, my child wouldn't be here. So it's like there's a difference there, but we just have to, whoever our new leadership has to be or will be, they have to get the corporate sponsors, because there's but so many big boosters at FAMU. Like, and look, baby, I was looking at next year's schedule. We might be able to get back in next year. I agree. I think so. And I think that now, it's a chip in your pocket, because point to the attendance. Like, You argue whatever you want, but argue with numbers, argue with data. That was not a good look with 5,000 people in the stands. Last year, decent look. Look at the years of the OBC in that stadium with FAMU. It's different. It lands different. The community likes it. You bring the band down, like Dr. Beard, whoever else, all the people, they do the same thing they did for Miami and recruit, do all those things. You just make it a yearly thing because if you got to do 4 games and get 2 money games at offsite locations, but have these cities, really 3, have those cities say, we're going to stuff your pockets with at least a $500,000. Why not? Like the Florida Classic, you're going to make probably about a $500,000 off that. Playing Miami, you got 700. OBC, you're getting something comparable. Then you get another game in there. That's like 1 point some million dollars off of 3 games. And they want you to come back. They want you there because us crazy Rattlers travel. Like you can say what you want to about us, but we do travel. We travel in Florida. We travel to Atlanta. Outside of Florida and Atlanta, good luck. But in actuality, those 2 games alone, you're going to see us. And those cities know that. Jacksonville knows if we can get a game up here with a decent opponent, we get a good crowd. It's just kind of what it is. Like, and look, Dr. Foster would not believe we don't have an OBC game. That's tradition at FAMU. And I'll be honest, OBC is better for the people in Central and South Florida. It does nothing for people in Tallahassee. I will tell y'all straight up, when I was in Tallahassee, I never went to the Orange Blossom Classic that wasn't in Tallahassee or Jacksonville. If it wasn't in Tallahassee or Jacksonville, we weren't going. It's too far. 8 hours? Nah, bro. I wasn't gonna make that drive. My dad wasn't gonna make it. Honestly, if I still lived in Tallahassee, I wouldn't go to the OBC unless I was going with friends. From Orlando, see the 4 hours of the Bright Line. And that's the other thing. Like, as you start to get these classes going, and I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. FAMU's VP of Florida region, William Human, he's been pushing for us to use Brightline, especially for like the games in Miami and stuff like that. That can't be a corporate sponsor. Like for the Florida Classic, there should be a Brightline specifically set up for that game. Like, hey, South Florida Rattlers, Miami-Dade, Broward, take the Brightline up to Orlando, have a bus that takes you from the Brightline to the Alumni Hotel or what have you, and go from there. Like, all of a sudden, you're using an existing partnership or existing mechanism to create a partnership that's mutually beneficial. Because even still, when it's not the Florida Classic, hey, y'all, jump on the Brightline. The fastest way to get from Central Florida to South Florida. Okay, cool. But we know November 24th, day after the Classic, FAMU plays UCF and women's basketball. Stay an extra day. Come support the ladies. Okay, I might do that if I'm just, I'm taking the train ride, what have you. Like, again, start using some of these new companies that are coming to town. We had Mission Barbecue at a lot of the games the last couple of years. I hadn't seen them this year, but start using those companies. Like, you have an existing relationship with LeBron James. Why the hell is Blaze Pizza nowhere near campus? Now, for some of y'all, you like, Blaze Pizza, what? Guess who's a owner of the corporation? LeBron James. Why is there not, hey, why don't y'all have a Blaze Pizza something here at Bragg? We already got a partnership. We wearing LeBron jerseys. You see it behind you. The orange one and the white one, LeBron's. Why don't we have Blaze Pizza? That's a partnership. Like, some of this, and I'm a bit out of the box with my thinking. I definitely am. I'm not. I'm not normal. But at the same point, when I look around, we are a Pepsi school. FSU's a Coke school. That's a benefit right there because all of a sudden, a a lot of places serve Coke. FAMU is in the minority, but you know what we can do with that partnership? We can get all these Pepsi reps and other folks. Hey, come to this, come there, do this, show them around. Like, start making it a destination place and make it a place where we start to develop suites and other things. Like, we have the end zone club. Great concept, really good idea. But at a certain point, especially if you're going to try to lean on brag a little bit, you got to expand and start adding the suites and the boxes because the suites are where you entertain those people. Like, I could easily take you to the Lawson Center and entertain you over there, but it ain't the same. Like, it's a nice venue, but if the hundreds playing, the football team's winning, the crowd is swinging, and you and brag and you over there saying, "Oh yeah, man, look, this is for South Carolina State. It say 15,000, but we really got about 18 in here. You know, something happened with the tickets, but this, because it was about 18,000 there. Oh, okay. Now homecoming, it's gonna be more than this. You're gonna probably want to set up a vendor out there selling stuff, doing stuff, advertising your product. That's what you do. Like, we're gonna keep the Florida lottery. They always there. They like FAMU. A lot of us play the lottery. A lot of y'all. Anyways, but some of the problems and why we're still having to play these money games is because we're not really advertising this thing right, especially with the new companies coming in. You can't tell me Cookout is talking about coming to Tallahassee and you ain't reached out to Cookout as broke as college students are. You was a college student. You and y'all seen Cookout prices. Man, look, if there was a Cookout in Tallahassee when I was on college and I lived with my parents, buddy, I'd have been up there like, hey, I got like $5 burger pops. Hey, might want to get you one. Want me to get you one? Hey, like, nah, I wasn't big balling. I didn't want my parents to pay for stuff. Still don't like it. But when these new companies come into the market and they come to Tallahassee, we have to swoon them and bring them in and say, hey, this is what it looks like. This is what it is. You know, the new NCAA rules, you can advertise on the field for this price. This how much it is. I'll give you the starter rate. But you might want to get in early because I done talked to a few people. You lock those folks in, and there you go. We got every game on ESPN. Like, some of this in the next regime, it's got to work. That's what they said, little baby. I don't know how true it is. And said, what about wings or Krispy Kreme treats? Isn't Shaq involved in one or both? The wing spot, I believe so. I don't know about Krispy Kreme, but you can't sell Krispy Kreme donuts at the games. I mean, I know it's a little different because you won't have a hot sign on. And, I'm like y'all. If the hot sign on ain't on, I don't know if I want it. But when the hot sign on, bruh, ain't nothing better. But that's just some of the stuff. Like, to overcome these gaps, we have to break down the myth that we just don't give. A lot of us give to it hurt. Some of y'all, again, y'all done gave to the Fang Exchange, boosters, and the NAA, and you donated to 220. Because now Vaughn be like, hey, run me them 20s. Because we trying to get stuff done. No middleman. That's really Vaughn. He didn't figure it out. But like I was just saying, so yeah. Ain't no cookout in Tallahassee. They said one was supposed to come. We'll see. But again, y'all know we be looking for solutions. We do have problems, but it is what it is. But Thursday, we can get y'all ready for lady sports, man. look, little baby, nothing. Us no Florida folks got to travel and flying ain't cheap. Or look, It really ain't. Unless you're going to Atlanta, that's a nice little flight. But yeah, we're gonna see y'all Thursday. Let's see if I can pull some. I got to put somebody that's supposed to call back, and so we're gonna see if I can get him on. I'm going on say his name, Orlando NAA president. We're supposed to reach out, so I'm trying to. Let's see if we can get him on the show, get him to talk about some of the things he's doing here in the City Beautiful, and really a growing chapter, exciting chapter. Watch parties for like almost every away game on iDrive. Ain't gonna tell y'all where to park. I know where to park, but I ain't, I ain't gonna tell you where to park. Ain't gonna mess up my good thing. But got some really cool and exciting things going on. And as I told y'all, we're gonna work on getting a little something set up for that first game of the season, or not first game, but that game here in Orlando when the Rattlers come down, Florida Classic weekend. You already gonna be here. Go drive over to the east side. They got some different things over there. Go have some fun. I'll definitely be there. And it's right around, for us at least, that's around winter break or spring, fall break. So Thanksgiving break right after. So don't be in a rush to get home. Go on, make you some extra time. And sometimes with the hotels, if you leave on a Monday, you get a better rate anyway. So just saying. But for Adam, man, and all those that do the good work over here at HBCU Digital Network, see y'all Thursday, because y'all know it's always going to be things up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does!